Ever feel like there's some secret code to music?
Something that would just unlock a whole new level of understanding.
Like real fluency?
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep into this thing called the definitive musical system.
GMS for short.
Created by this Brazilian musician, Jack Lima.
Right.
And let me tell you something.
This system claims to have cracked that code.
It's a bold claim, for sure.
We're talking about like a global music map here.
A complete system.
Supposedly unlocks true musical fluency.
Okay.
Jack Lima himself said nothing else needs to be done.
Okay. Now
That definitely piques my interest. That's a big claim.
It is.
It's like we just stumbled onto the Rosetta Stone of music.
But
Before we get ahead of ourselves,
sure.
let's break it down.
Right.
We're on a mission to understand like the philosophy behind DMS, but also the practical elements too.
Like, we've heard about this software.
Yeah.
So what's the starting point for this musical journey?
So to grasp why DMS is considered so revolutionary.
We need to look at the foundation first.
Okay.
Traditional music education.
And really where it falls short a lot of the time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
I've been playing music for years now.
I've tried different instruments.
And I know that feeling of hitting a wall, like
Yeah.
you're stuck on autopilot.
You're relying more on muscle memory than actual understanding.
It's so common.
It's such a common frustration for musicians.
You practice, you memorize.
But there's this missing link,
What is that?
that deep understanding of the structure.
Yeah.
Like, imagine learning a language.
But all you're doing is memorizing phrases.
You can get by.
But you don't have fluency.
It's like I'm navigating
A
with
small little local map.
when what I need is the full picture.
Yes.
Like a comprehensive musical atlas.
Is that where DMS steps in?
That's what it aims to do.
Does it provide that bigger picture?
It provides that bigger picture.
Think about learning any complex system.
Language mathematics, even programming.
There's an inherent logic there.
There's a framework that governs everything.
I never thought about it like that.
You don't just learn random words or equations or code.
You learn the rules.
The grammar
Why DMS applies that to music.
prioritizes a deep holistic understanding of theory.
Before intensive practice even starts.
So instead of jumping straight into plain scales.
Or chords DMS starts by laying down a solid musical foundation.
Precisely.
Jack Lima said it best himself.
Oh.
He said, the problems with standard music instruction are both the sense of immediacy and the lack of a logical framework.
DMS tackles this head on.
Make sure the why is clear.
Before diving into the how.
Okay, so it's like
building a house.
you need that solid foundation before you even think about putting up the walls.
Yes,
And you're telling me DMS provides the blueprints to build our musical houses, right?
that's it.
Okay, so how does it actually work?
One of the core components of DMS is something Lema calls the rhythm dictionary.
It challenges our conventional understanding of rhythm.
Okay.
And it's really the key to unlocking that bigger musical map we talked about.
Rhythm dictionary.
Okay, you have my attention now.
This sounds like a game changer.
It aims to be.
Imagine having access to every possible rhythmic combination.
Within a given time signature, rather than just knowing a few basic rhythms.
That's the rhythm dictionary.
So instead of a handful of familiar paths.
I've suddenly got this vast network of rhythmic roads to explore.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
that's a great way to put it.
And with this expanded understanding of rhythm
You start to see connections between musical styles and genres.
that you might not have considered before.
It's like suddenly seeing the Matrix.
You're revealing the hidden patterns and relationships in music that we've been missing.
Yes.
This is where I think things are about to get really interesting for our listeners.
We'll be back after a quick break to delve deeper into this rhythm dictionary and how it unlocks the musical map.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. Right before the break, we were starting to uncover this rhythm dictionary.
Which apparently holds the key to unlocking this whole concept of a global music map.
Right.
It's like I'm about to receive the secret decoder ring for music itself.
So what exactly I asked this rhythm dictionary?
Think of it less as a dictionary.
And more like a musical GPS system.
Okay.
Instead of just having like a few familiar routes
It reveals every possible rhythmic pathway.
within a given time signature.
Okay, so instead of just knowing,
A couple basic rhythms.
I suddenly have this whole world of rhythmic possibilities
Yeah.
at my fingertips.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
But how does this actually work in practice?
Could you give me like a concrete example?
Absolutely.
Let's just take something as simple as a 4/4 rock drum beat.
Okay.
Most drummers learn a handful of variations, right?
Right.
But with the rhythm dictionary,
You start to see how many different ways.
you can subdivide those 4 beats.
shift the accents, add syncopation.
Wow.
You're no longer limited to those predetermined patterns.
So it's like taking that basic beat.
And using the rhythm dictionary to unlock.
There's endless permutations.
Yeah.
Like having a musical algorithm for rhythm.
It reminds me of those moments when...
You're learning a new language.
And suddenly you start to see the grammatical structures
Right?
behind the sentences.
It's like a whole new level of understanding clicks into place.
That's a great analogy.
And what's fascinating is
this deeper understanding of rhythm
isn't just about technical proficiency.
Okay.
It has the potential to fuel creativity.
In ways that you might not expect.
So it's not just about knowing more rhythms.
It's about what you can do with that knowledge.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
You can't build a skyscraper with just a hammer and nails.
Right.
You need a deep understanding of architecture and engineering.
To unleash your creativity.
Exactly.
One musician, Daibem,
who has worked closely with Jack Lima,
okay,
put it beautifully.
He said, it is an exact science, like a bridge.
If you construct a bridge and you have one wrong beam in there, it falls.
Wow.
The Rhythm Dictionary helps you build those musical bridges.
With confidence and precision.
That's a powerful image.
So it's about having that strong foundation.
To support your creative risks.
Yes.
This is all starting to make a lot of sense. We've talked a lot about the theory and the concepts behind DMS.
What about the practical application?
How does someone actually learn this system?
Is there a secret initiation ceremony?
Well, there's no secret ceremony.
But Jack Lima has developed
Some pretty innovative software.
that's specifically designed to teach and reinforce the principles of DMS.
Okay, personalized software.
Now we're talking my language.
Tell me more about the software and how it actually works.
Does it involve virtual reality headsets?
Not quite virtual reality.
But it's definitely cutting edge.
Remember how crucial we said immediate feedback is to learning?
Yes.
Think about learning a new language or a sport.
The faster you know what you're doing right or wrong.
The quicker you improve.
Right.
The DMS software is built on that same principle.
So it's like having a digital coach.
Analyzing your every move.
Providing instant feedback and guidance.
Yes.
This is making me wish I had this kind of technology.
When I was first learning music...
Imagine this.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Before the break, we were talking about how this DMS software...
It's like having a virtual Jack Lima by your side.
Right.
I'm really curious.
How does it actually work?
The DMS software acts like a personalized training program.
Okay.
Provides exercises and challenges tailored to your specific skill level.
And areas where you need to focus. It's all about accelerating that feedback loop.
So you're constantly learning and improving.
So no more slogging through.
Generic exercises that are either too easy or too difficult.
Right.
This software finds the sweet spot for my musical growth.
Yes.
It's like having a customized workout routine.
But for my ears and my brain,
You could say that.
the software is designed to identify.
Like we were talking about with that bridge analogy.
Oh,
It finds those weak beams in your musical bridge
and then helps you reinforce them.
through targeted practice.
This makes me think about,
Those language learning apps.
you know, the ones that use AI to personalize your lessons?
Right.
Is this the same concept, but for music?
It's similar.
It adapts to your progress.
But instead of AI
It's built on Jack Lima's deep understanding of musical learning.
and the principles of DMS,
Okay.
Daniel Daibem, who we mentioned earlier,
Said Jack's software method enables quicker response time. That's what programs the brain.
and that quicker response
With
time
what the software is all about.
is like the difference between
And reading a book about basketball,
and actually getting on the court with a coach.
who can give you instant feedback on your jump shot.
Right.
Experience trumps theory every time.
Absolutely.
And this is where DMS gets really interesting. It's not just about...
Understanding the musical language.
It's about being able to speak it fluently.
To express yourself with confidence and precision.
So it's not just about being a musical scholar.
Right.
It's about being a musical doer.
Yes.
This brings up a question I've kind of been pondering.
Throughout this whole deep dive,
Okay.
does DMS...
Focus only on technical mastery.
Where does musicality...
But that indescribable heart and soul of music,
Right.
where does that fit in?
That's a great question.
And it's something that Jack Lima addresses head on.
He believes that a strong foundation in music theory,
Doesn't stifle creativity?
it actually enhances it.
Okay.
It's like a painter.
Who understands color theory, composition, brushstrokes?
That knowledge doesn't limit them
It liberates them.
because they have the tools and the foundation to bring their own unique vision to life.
I'm starting to see how this applies to music.
Yes.
It's not about restricting your creativity.
It's about giving you a framework
Yes.
to understand and explore it more fully.
Precisely.
And Jack Lima even talks about how composers can use DMS
To consciously explore musical ideas.
within a chosen framework.
Okay.
He said, the composer can choose the time signature before creating a composition. Then he chooses the motive, groove, and obviously having the motive in hand, he can now consciously compose something based on what he had in mind before.
So it's about being deliberate.
And intentional with your creative choices.
Yes.
It's like having a musical blueprint.
That guides you but doesn't dictate the final design.
Exactly.
It's about understanding the rules so well.
That you can bend them.
Break them.
Or even create your own.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We've explored a whole new approach to music education.
One that emphasizes structured learning.
A deep understanding of rhythm with this thing called the Rhythm Dictionary.
Right.
And this personalized software.
That accelerates the learning process.
It really makes you think about musical talent.
In a whole new light.
It does.
As we wrap up here.
What's the one big takeaway?
You're hoping our listeners walk away with.
I think the most important thing to remember here
Is that DMS isn't just a new method.
it's a new mindset.
Okay.
It's about approaching music with curiosity logic.
And a desire to understand the why behind the what.
It's not just about playing the notes.
It's about understanding the music from the inside out.
Exactly.
This has been an incredible journey.
And it leaves me wondering,
Could a system like this change how we view musical talent?
is it possible that genius is less about innate ability?
And more about having the right framework for learning and exploration.
That's a great question.
I encourage all our listeners to ponder that.
And on that note,
We'll leave you to do just that.
if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity
I highly recommend seeking out more information.
about Jack Lima and the definitive musical system,
You might just discover a whole new world of musical possibilities.
who knows?
You might even unlock your own hidden musical genius.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.